Jalen Brunson isn't the biggest, fastest, or most explosive player on the court. Far from it, in fact. Yet somehow, he just did something in the playoffs that only Kobe Bryant had done before him. Brunson was a second-round pick, a player most teams overlooked. And now, he's the NBA's Clutch Player of the Year. The Knicks didn't just find a star, they found a system in sneakers. And now, they've defeated the defending champion Boston Celtics and advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since 2000. So, let me show you why I'm obsessed with how Jalen Brunson plays basketball. Jalen Brunson grew up around the game, literally. As a kid, he spent time in NBA locker rooms with his father Rick, a fellow lefty guard, who also played for the Knicks, where Jalen crossed paths with then assistant coach Tom Thibodeau. His reputation for rising to the moment started early. In 2010, as a sophomore at Stevenson High School in Illinois, Brunson led his team to the Class 4A state title game against Chicago powerhouse Simeon Career Academy. He got Simeon's backcourt into foul trouble in the first half, but Stevenson fell short. Still, Brunson was named to the Class 4A All-State second team, the only sophomore honoured. The following year, he erupted for 56 points in a playoff game against Jahil Okafor's Whitney Young, setting an IHSA postseason single-game scoring record. He was named Gatorade Player of the Year in Illinois and earned All-State first-team honours again, the only non-senior on the list. In September of his senior year, Brunson committed to Villanova, a decision that would pay off big. At the time, he was ranked number 1 point guard in the class of 2015 by Scout.com, and his peers voted him the best passer in high school basketball. That season, he carried Stevenson to their third straight Final Four appearance, became Lake County's all-time leading scorer, and repeated as Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year. Then he capped it all off with a title, 30 points on 9 of 15 shooting, and a perfect 9 for 9 from the line in a dominant 57-40 win over Normal Community High School, the first state championship for any school from Lake County. That knack for getting to the line, it would become one of his signature skills at every level. Next up, a step up in class with the Villanova Wildcats. Brunson made an immediate impact as a freshman. After the 2015-16 Big East season, he was a unanimous selection to the Big East All-Freshman team. And when the moment got big, so did Brunson. In the 2016 NCAA Tournament Regional Final against Kansas, he sank the final 2 free throws to seal a 2-possession lead with 3.5 seconds left. He was a starter on the Villanova team that went on to win the national championship against North Carolina. As a sophomore, Brunson averaged 14.7 points and 4.1 assists, earning a spot as one of only 4 unanimous selections to the 2016-17 All-Big East first team. Rather than jump to the NBA, he returned for a third season. That decision paid off. As a junior, Brunson was once again a unanimous All-Big East first team pick, while also being named the Big East Player of the Year and the Scholar Athlete of the Year. National recognition followed. He was a consensus first-team All-American and swept major Player of the Year honors, winning the Oscar Robertson Trophy, the AP Player of the Year, the Naismith Award, the Wooden Award, and the Bob Cousy Award. Most importantly to him, Villanova won another national championship, their second in 3 years. A run of elite production, leadership, and winning led Sporting News to name him College Basketball Player of the Decade. And yet, despite all that, NBA teams didn't rush to grab him. Concerns about how his game would translate to the pro level caused him to slide, all the way to the 3rd pick in the 2nd round. So, why did Jalen fall in the draft? At 6'2", 190 pounds with a 6'4" wingspan, he had decent size, but that wingspan was seen as below average for an NBA point guard. His athleticism also raised questions. After his freshman year at Villanova, Draft Express wrote that Brunson won't blow anyone away with his quickness or explosiveness, even at college level. The biggest concern, though, was defense. Scouts doubted he could guard multiple positions, and even questioned how he'd fare against elite point guards like Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, and Kyrie Irving. NBADraft.net wrote, Brunson projects as a player who can only defend one position, and it is not 100% clear that Brunson would be successful defending starting NBA point guards. He was widely projected as a career backup. Bleacher Report compared him to Jameer Nelson and Andre Miller. Solid, yet unspectacular. Definitely not stars. All of that contributed to Brunson falling to the second round, 33rd overall, drafted by a team that had already selected a superstar playmaker that same night, Luka Doncic. It looked like Jalen would have to fight for his spot all over again, but he bet on himself in a way second-round picks rarely do. Brunson delayed signing his rookie deal until after Summer League and earned a 4-year contract with 3 years guaranteed, a deal more typical for a late first-rounder than a second-rounder. It was a big risk, especially in the chaotic world of Summer League hoops. Still, for his first 3 seasons in Dallas, Brunson was a backup. He had to slowly carve out a role behind Luka, while the Mavs kept bringing in other guards. Seth Curry, Delon Wright, Josh Richardson, and Trey Burke, all of whom took minutes from him. Now, listing those names next to Brunson now sounds ridiculous, but back then, that's how Dallas managed their rotation. By the summer of 2021, Brunson had finished 4th in Sixth Man of the Year voting and was eligible for a 4-year extension worth up to $55.5 million, a fair price for a 24-year-old who had proven he could contribute to a playoff team. He had great chemistry with Luka and helped shape the locker room with his immaculate vibes. Jalen and his father believed the extension was a formality. They were even willing to take slightly less to stay. But the Mavs weren't ready to commit. The organization had just undergone major changes, hiring Jason Kidd and Nico Harrison, and wanted more time to evaluate. Harrison said they'd revisit things in training camp, but when camp arrived, the offer never came. Why? With limited trade assets, Dallas likely saw Brunson as a piece they might need to move in a potential deal for a second star to pair with Luka. Mark Cuban also reportedly didn't believe Brunson would draw a big market in free agency, thinking the best offer he would get would be the mid-level exception, $45.1 million over 4 years. So once again, Brunson bet on himself and played out his contract. He moved into the starting lineup in 2021-22 and played a crucial role in leading the Mavericks to the Western Conference Finals. After that playoff run, Mark Cuban made it sound like Brunson's return was a done deal, casually saying, obviously after re-signing JB in an off-season interview. As Brunson's free agent stock skyrocketed during the playoffs, Cuban kept reminding everyone that the Mavericks held his bird rights and could go over the cap to re-sign him. Head coach Jason Kidd echoed that confidence, saying one of his goals was to get Brunson paid, and that price kept going up, especially after Brunson starred in Luka Doncic's early absence and proved he could be a legitimate number 2 on a contending team. Brunson believed the Mavs would finally back up the talk. After years of being dangled in trade rumors, this was his moment. He'd earned it. But Dallas still didn't make a serious offer. They were so focused on finding a co-star for Doncic that they missed what was right in front of them. They already had one, a low-maintenance, high-IQ guard who didn't mind playing in Luka's shadow, but could lead the team when needed. And Brunson had shown them that over and over. Still, no contract came, so Brunson looked elsewhere. You'd think Mark Cuban might have learned from letting Steve Nash walk decades earlier. After all the noise from Dallas, the New York Knicks offered Brunson a fresh start and a $104 million contract that was initially criticized, but quickly became one of the best deals in the league. The basketball world started asking the obvious question: why didn't Dallas just match it? In July 2024, the Knicks doubled down and gave Brunson a 4-year, $156.5 million extension. And considering what he's done for the franchise, that might still be a bargain, because what Brunson did changed everything. Watch highlights of Ja Morant, prime Dame Lillard, Westbrook, or Steph Curry, and then watch Brunson. He moves differently, plays differently, and that's exactly the mistake people made early on. Not anymore. I think Jalen was looked at from the start as someone who would be one of the better players, said Villanova assistant coach Mike Nardi. His talent was so obvious, but everyone doubted his athleticism and ability to defend because he wasn't as quick. That's where his intelligence and grit came in. He wanted to prove himself, not others, that he could do certain things. That's why he is where he is. You're just not going to win that battle if you're doubting him. That rare mix of intangibles, his toughness, IQ, and relentless work ethic, paired with elite footwork, change of pace, and scoring versatility from every spot on the floor, cracked the door open for him. But it was his poise, his ability to rise in big moments, that blasted the door off the hinges. Jalen quickly silenced critics who said he couldn't be that guy in a major market, or that he was just riding his father's NBA connections. In his first season with the Knicks, Brunson posted career highs in points, assists, three-point percentage, and usage. Most players see either quality or quantity rise, not at the same time, but Brunson did both. That's elite. He finished top 12 in MVP voting, was a finalist for Most Improved Player, and led New York to its first 45-win season in a decade. Somehow, he still didn't make the All-Star team. That didn't last long though. In year 2 in New York, he averaged 28.7 points and 6.7 assists on 40% from 3, and his usage climbed to 32.5%. This is a high-level number, bordering on the heliocentric territory typically reserved for players like Luka Doncic and James Harden. He was named an All-Star for the first time, made All-NBA, finished top 5 in MVP voting, and led the Knicks to their first 50-win season since 2022-13. Then came this past season. Brunson raised his assist numbers again, improved his efficiency, continued that year-to-year leap, exactly where the Knicks needed it most. They won one more regular season game, all with the 2024-25 Clutch Player of the Year leading the way. In the regular season, Jalen Brunson led the entire NBA in clutch scoring, averaging 5.6 points per game in the final 5 minutes of close contests, defined as games within 5 points in the fourth quarter or overtime. He also led the league in clutch field goals made with 52, ranked second in total clutch points, 156, and third in clutch assists with 28. Brunson shot an impressive 51.5% from the field and 84% from the line in those high-pressure moments. The Knicks went 17-11 in his 28 clutch games. This kind of margin that separates a true contender from a plain hopeful in the East. His numbers in crunch time would make AI jealous. Yet Brunson isn't out there blazing by defenders. He plays like a 6'2" footwork savant. That's what makes it so special. He's not winning with speed, he's winning with angles, tempo, and sheer precision. And if anyone expected him to cool off when the lights got brighter, Brunson only turned the heat up in the playoffs. Despite battling ankle issues that forced him to briefly exit games 1, 2, 4, and 5 against the Pistons, Brunson scored 30 or more in 5 of the 6 games, including a 40-point masterpiece in the closeout, capped by a cold-blooded 3 over Osar Thompson. Then came the Celtics series, where Brunson once again proved his Mr. Clutch. Title is legit, not just with big-time buckets, but with calm, surgical control. The entire Knicks squad fed off his composure, storming back to win games 1 and 2 on the road in Boston. And after his 39-point, 5-rebound, 12-assist eruption in Game 4, Brunson became just the second player in NBA history, alongside Kobe Bryant in 2001 and 2003, to score 100-plus fourth-quarter points in the first 10 games of a playoff run. That's rare air. And while Brunson carries one of the league's heaviest offensive loads, he stays grounded. He's not calling himself the system when things go well, or ducking blame when they don't. Yes, James Harden, I'm looking at you, Mr. Game 7. Brunson simply refers to himself as a hustle player, but his hustle looks different. He sacrifices his body, racks up both offensive and defensive fouls, and earns his way to the line at one of the highest rates in the league. He finished the regular season top 5 in free-throw attempts per game, not just from attacking the paint, but from mastering the art of drawing contact. This takes anticipation, IQ, and the mindset of both a chess master and an elite boxer, planning for your opponent's every move to gain the slightest edge. Brunson isn't an explosive athlete, so he leans on textbook footwork and the craft of an old man's game, fused with a modern perimeter arsenal, savvy matchup hunting, and a sharp understanding of how to exploit today's rules. That's what he has to do to win his matchup. And he is winning a lot. He's bringing back and at the same time redefining what a lead guard looks like, built on timeless fundamentals, deliberate tempo, high-level IQ, and creative shot making. And he's doing it at 6'2" in Madison Square Garden, with the whole city watching. Jalen Brunson isn't just having a breakout year, he's building a legacy. Every season, he adds more: scoring, leadership, playmaking, cold-blooded clutch performances. And now, he's on the verge of adding an All-NBA nod and a deep playoff run to his already stellar resume. Is he the best point guard in the East right now? The most valuable player in the league under 6'3"? You tell me. If you're obsessed with Brunson's game like I am, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know. Where does he rank amongst the best guards in the NBA right now?